What's up and welcome back to Kinda Funny's Alien and Predator in Review. That's right, we are ranking, reviewing, and recapping every Alien, Predator, and Prometheus film. Woo! Even when there's Prometheus sequels you didn't know about in your life. You know what I mean? What a fun surprise that was.
When we did it last week, and it was like, they never made a sequel to this, and chat was like, well, I was like, oh, interesting. And then for it to start, I was like, holy shit.
Okay, that's kind of crazy. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, or Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. It gets you the shows ad-free, and you get a daily exclusive Gregway. But either way, you can watch this show each and every week on YouTube or Twitch or podcast services around the globe, if that is what you would prefer. There's a lot going on right now in entertainment land at Kinda Funny. Right now, of course, we're continuing Alien and Predator in review, but in addition to that, we're doing weekly breakdowns of The Last of Us and Star Wars Andor. Last of Us Episode 4, we just did our breakdown. Me, Greg, and Bless talking about that today. But last week we're doing the weekly Andor, which is 3 episodes a week. So catch up with all of that. And episodes, what would it be? I guess 9 through 12, something like that. 6 through 9, that's what it'll be, is going to happen for Andor this Friday at 12:30 p.m. So be there live if you'd like. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Anatoly Ast, Lady Twining, Carl Jacobs, and Omega Buster. A little housekeeping for you. Greg is going to be at PAX East. Please go support him as he does the keynote for PAX East with Ben Starr at 11 a.m. Eastern if you're there in Boston, 8 a.m. Pacific if you're watching from home, and at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, Greg's hosting the Mafia, the Old Country panel with the developers. Please support in person or at home. Just go to our Twitch, and we'll be streaming both of those if you aren't there in person. And today we're brought to you by Imperial Aura Frames and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you all about that later. We got to get into it. Alien Covenant, released on July 9th, 2017, a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes, directed by Ridley Scott, once again returning. He's back, baby. Music was done by Jed Kurzel, and the budget was $111 million, box office $240 million. Budgets get crazy, because I was like looking at my notes. Like the AVP movies were 40 million. And this is 111 million, Andy. That's weird. You know what I mean? Like, damn, time.
I mean, them little crawly aliens.
A whole bunch of them, right?
A lot of CG.
And how great they looked, right? Anyways, this is Alien Covenant. I want to get into all of our thoughts. Who would like to start?
I'll start.
Go for it, Andy.
I'd never seen this before. Had no idea what it was about. Didn't know that Fassbender was in it.
What a surprise.
I just didn't know what this movie was. It was kind of at a weird point in time where, I mean, not that I was ever keeping up with alien news, but I don't know. I just figured they would have called this Prometheus 2 or something like that. But yeah, was kind of surprised by this one. It still annoys me that the character is just that little splotch of blood. You gotta stop slipping on that. Like that little splotch of blood on the ground was so pivotal to the movie.
Really, a lot of stuff happened because of that thing.
Like just that little thing. Like that's got to be a preferred partner.
That's the real xenomorph.
That's the real preferred partner right there.
Do it.
Yeah, it's too early.
But yeah, I still enjoyed this movie. I really enjoyed the freaky ass design of the aliens. I don't think it's like a good movie in terms of a lot of like storytelling and maybe pacing. Some characters just feel like they weren't aware of how they should have been feeling in certain moments, and like they weren't given enough direction maybe. But I mean, all that being said, I expected to hate this movie when that second woman slips on the thing of blood. Like I legitimately stood up. I was like, I fucking hate this. Like this is such bullshit.
All by yourself.
There's actually a director's cut where the blood kills everyone.
It's crazy. Everybody keeps walking. The big alien walks in and slips too.
Just stop moving and we'll be okay. Someone will come for us.
I still had a good enough time with it. I think because it was such a surprise, and yeah, I guess this was just such a weird dark spot in my knowing about movies or anything like that. So yeah, it was It was still pretty enjoyable for me.
I'm gonna jump off there because you saying that there was that moment you thought, oh, I might hate this movie. Unfortunately, I hated this movie. Like this one, my initial thoughts on it. This is a stinker of a film. It's just boring. And
it was very boring for a lot of
movies.
It, yeah.
And I don't think that it's the worst of these movies. Like I really don't. I think there are multiple movies that are worse than this, and this is better than. But watching this was such a slog, and especially after coming off of Prometheus, and so much of what I liked most about this movie is the stuff they're following up on from Prometheus. It just felt a little directionless, and it felt like, all right, it felt cash grabby in the way of like, Michael Fassbender was great, but we put him in an alien movie that wasn't called Alien. Let's just put him in a movie that actually call it Alien. And that kind of feels like the end of all of it to me. Like, I don't think that much of this was horrible. It's just not entertaining. And I feel like so many of the movies that we've watched have done everything this movie does even okay, just so much better, whether it's the creature design that I get what they were going for here. I think they kind of went a little too far with some of them. The insistence on trying to come up with potential origin stories for all of these aliens is another thing that I just don't think we need. So much of the action is silly. The flute teaching scene, the Michael Fassbender on Michael Fassbender stuff, like, I enjoyed, but I don't think I'm supposed to.
It was like such a goofy flex of like, what is this, 1989, where I'm supposed to be impressed that they're talking to each other? Like, they're spinning the camera back and forth. Like, I get it.
Goofy, man. What's up?
That's the only part of the movie that I actually like, because I think Fassbender's the only good part.
That's
of
what
this
I'm saying,
movie.
though.
And I think the David versus Walter like conversations are the only interesting philosophical like themes that we explore in this entire movie. The rest of it is literally well-worn territory. We've done all this already in the first film.
And it's coming out in 27. Like, again, the flute stuff and the David as a character, and like thinking about the concepts of creator versus creation and what the power dynamics are, and what would you say face to face with your creator. Like, that stuff is still so interesting. And yeah, the flute scene, it's like, it's just goofy in the context of the rest of this movie, but I still thought was like, oh, there's something here. The way the movie ends, I'm like, all right, that's cool too. But overall, I just feel like it was a big letdown. And out of any of these alien movies, I did not look at my watch more than this one. Like, constantly, I'm just like, I would rather be doing anything than watch this. And this was the first time one of these ended. And I'm like, I can't believe we have more of these movies to watch. Like, I think we finally hit the point of like, I'm done being like, hey, I'm having a fun time with the ride. Like, I did not have fun with this movie.
I would have preferred somebody telling me, because I think back to some of my thoughts during Prometheus, and during the interview, I was like, yeah, but I get really just kind of pumped up at the concept of Shaw saying, I don't want to go back to Earth. I want to go back to where the engineers came from. Right. And how cool of a concept that was to me. And if this movie didn't exist and you told me, oh, they wrote a side comic where actually David fucking released this shit and just wiped out everybody, I would have been like, wow, that's fucking sick. But like, it's still really cool, and it's still sinister, and it's an awesome concept. I just don't think they executed much of what could have made it cool.
Yeah.
I think the movie could have been better if it wasn't for the fact that it was a sequel to Prometheus, because there's a lot of really interesting stuff here, but it's well-worn territory. And I think back to, this is going to be a bit of a walk, but I want to bring up the movie Pretty in Pink.
Thank
you ever
you.
seen this film?
Yes.
Great movie.
I've never seen it.
Classic John Hughes film. But he was when it ended, the test audiences didn't like the original ending, so the studio made him change it, and he hated that. So what he did was he remade the movie, retold it with Some Kind of Wonderful. And Some Kind of Wonderful is a better movie, but it's boring as shit because it's literally the exact same story as Pretty in Pink, with just the roles, the two main roles gender swapped. And so I think this movie standalone, you're like, there's some cool stuff going on in this. But the fact that it literally is just almost the exact same movie as Prometheus, as far as the characters are concerned. We got an android that's literally played by Michael Fassbender. We got a captain that's got a southern accent that's played by Danny McBride for no reason is in this movie.
Fassbender's accent is so bad in this.
And we once again sort of barely explore the concept of like faith versus science, and then creation versus like faith, and all these things. And none of it's very well fleshed out. And then you add to that, again, another incompetent crew that just makes stupid choices at every single turn.
Everyone on this crew must be married to each other.
Why?
Yeah. Jen and I were watching, like, why would you do, I mean, make
when
them
you're in space, things happen.
freeze one of them, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? So you're always looking for the good of the colony, but like each other? No, that's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, we did get to that one point where it's like, oh, my wife's on the planet. And it's like, and then the lady, Rosenthal's literally like, hey, man, you can't you have to think about the 2,700 colonists we have. There's like, bring the ship into 80,000 feet. All right, what are we doing, guys? Like, you know that there's only one person in all of the Alien franchise who's ever been like, hey, man, there's something on that dude's face. We can't let him back on the ship. And it's Ripley. And then the only reason why they did it was because, you know, there was a conspiracy to let the guy back on the ship because the android did. But in this, it makes no sense. Like, they're coming back, this guy's spitting black shit out of his fucking mouth.
They're
Get him
talking
in
about
medbay. Don't
quarantine.
touch anything.
They're talking about quarantine protocol, but nobody's following
Nobody's
it.
following up.
When
and
you're
it's
in the
just-
moment,
But
you
they're all
never
married,
know.
so I get it.
But
you
it
know?
makes me not like, it just really makes me not like these characters. The same problem I have with
course.
Prometheus, where I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to write smart characters and you got to put them in a situation where it's a conundrum. It's hard. It's difficult, right? But in this, it's a no-brainer. The guy's pale as a ghost, spitting up black stuff, and they're like, get him onto the ship ASAP. And the lady has one moment where she's like, I don't know. Yeah, okay, fuck it, put him on the ship. And then they lock Carmen and Jogo in
And
there.
I feel
It's
like
what
they do
are
that
you
every
doing?
time.
Every
It's
time.
always this like, no, we can't. I guess we can.
We can. Okay. I'll say I think the movie does have some good points to it. I do like Dave. I like Michael Fassbender. I like exploring that, and I do like the concept that he like decided to create his own like Garden of Eden where he could create all these crazy things and like this menagerie of horrors. And I think the ending might be one of the best endings in all of the Alien movies, even though you see it coming. But it's kind of Catherine Waterston's like just terrified as she falls asleep, and you're terrified for her. And then he spits up the little, you know, all that stuff is
His embryos.
all that stuff is amazing. I just don't think they earned that ending. By the time we get there, I'm like, I'm glad that Billy Crudup died. Why would you say I've seen the devil and then follow this guy into a fucking basement full of giant alien eggs and then go, oh, I'll touch the egg. Oh,
he
what's
keeps
in
saying
there?
it's okay. He keeps saying it's okay.
He's like, it's okay, but obviously this
he
guy's
has
a bad
faith, too.
guy.
Remember, he's got faith. He's a man of faith.
Yeah, he tried about but you're talking to an android. It's a human creation. You're talking about a fucking robot. It's not God made. Why would you have faith in this
He
thing?
believes in him.
All of these things.
The first rule of robots can't hurt us.
all of these things just make another jumbled mess, unfortunately. But at least we get to see a xenomorph at the end of this.
Yeah, at least we do. Greg, what'd you think?
I enjoyed this one. You know, my expectations were so low. Did not like Prometheus at all. What did I like about Prometheus? Fassbender. So to start off, bam, it's Fassbender. It's Aldrich Killian talking to each other. I'm like, hell yeah, all right. And then I was like, wait, are we gonna get two Fassbender?
Too fast, too furious
All right.
benders.
And then a bunch of dumb shit and aliens and whatever. Yeah, it was fun. But in terms of like the movies, like, you know, we talk about it with Marvel and MCU, right? How we have the different, you know, tiers and the S rank and the A rank and the B rank. And I really feel like there's like the good section and then the rest of them here. And like, I think this is like the best of the other section of just like, I enjoyed this throughout. I thought Fassbender was great and interesting. I think, you know, are they hitting on the same notes they hit with Prometheus? I think, yeah, but I think there was more going on here that I enjoyed than in Prometheus. So I enjoyed this one versus that one.
I was really hoping for a moment where not Fassbender Walter is just like, well, we have to take them back to the ship, and then somebody be like, wait, David, is that you? No, it's me. Like, you know, I'm in disguise.
That
right
was
here.
my thing when
It's such a weird.
when David came down and found, or when Walter came down and found David cutting his hair. I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, I can see where this is going immediately. What are you doing?
Yeah, but like that's the problem, right? Is when you as the audience member who's like, I'm not a smart person. We can all agree.
Agreed.
We're the four of us together are
Dumb dumbs.
just dumb.
I mean, you add us all up, we kind of get one competent person.
Yeah, but you see this alien that's this robot that's clearly off a little, right? He's a little weird, and you're like, and then these little things just were like hunting you, and you walk into this temple, and you're like, hey man, are we safe here? And he's like, perfectly safe. I'd be like, question. Why? How are we safe in that? There's a fucking opening right here. Those things are all over the goddamn place. We don't know how many there are. Why are you so trustful
We
of this
saw all
guy?
the people who were like frozen in time outside. We're fine.
Oh yeah, the guys
walked
that were
in
burned
there.
with
they're
the
fine.
fucking.
They walked in there as if they had like armed turrets behind them, looking out at like this little foresty area or whatever where all these little creatures were. I thought the same thing. I was like, why? You're just
Why
walking
would you
in
think
there.
you're safe? Why would
and
anyone go on their
You
own?
should just be running.
And the captain's like, I want everyone to trust me because I really want to be a good captain. But hey, by the way, why don't you walk off into this mysterious complex by yourself? Just go ahead. At no point does anyone
gotta go wash
walking
up."
twos for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, hey,
I get so angry because it's so much amazing wasted money in this. And the setup's good, but it's just not.
well,
it's
that
just not
thing's
there.
set up, sure. And then you get to the last, I don't even know if it's third, but like the big action scene is just so whatever to look at.
Which
And
big action scene? The first
Then-
one?
then
Or
on
the one
the
where we
top
get
of
on
the
the ship
fucking
and you're
ship.
like, I wish this ended.
Just-
I forgot. There's another alien on board for no reason. Where
of
the
course,
fuck did that
there
thing come
has
from?
to be. To me, I think the biggest upsetting point is this is a 2017 movie.
Yeah.
Like this is 5 years after Prometheus, and it's just just devoid of like new original ideas that are fun to watch. And comparing this to other movies in 2017 or around there, like think of how deep into the MCU we are at this point.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think that this movie, like, of course I didn't know shit about. Of course I've never heard Nick talk about Alien Covenant to my memory. Like,
I've watched this movie one time and
did you see it in theaters or?
I saw it in theaters because I love the Alien movies, but I remember watching this being like, okay, this really feels like they just remade Prometheus because people had grudges against it or something. And I know he wanted to do a trilogy originally, but this one just was very poorly received because you get midway through it and you're like, I'm bored. And I think most people were. By the time you get back up to the Covenant, you're like, I want this to end, man. I actually legitimately forgot there was a whole other action sequence in the cargo hold of this, which
it makes
wasn't
me
very exciting.
so sad because I think conceptually these movies are so badass. They're so cool on paper. And they're just ultimately some really big fumbles because you could have had some of Hollywood's best writers and imaginators like taking this source material and making like true magic with it. And it really bums me out that they're just kind of so whatever, you know?
Imagine if they actually did that side comic that you were talking about, where it was just Shaw and David going to the engineers like home planet and like having to interact with them and like get overrun and having to kill them. Like that would have been a much more interesting story. But I think the problem was in the big criticism of Prometheus was like we didn't really see an alien until the end. So he was like, oh, let's put a bunch of aliens in there. I'm like, it sucks to say because the movie is Alien Covenant, but I kind of wish they didn't put any aliens in this. I kind of wish it was just more of a like highfalutin sci-fi movie as opposed to a monster movie by the end of it.
I guess I just really dug the look of the creatures, even though they didn't always look great because of the CG. But there are so many of the shots from this movie that I realized I had seen that I thought were fan art, that I thought were just fan creations.
There's, with the xenomorph on the airship or whatever, and it does and I was like, oh, that's the GIF. I've seen this GIF 1,000 times every time I look for an alien GIF. No, where it just goes like that and it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like the little one when he's going like this, and again for the wrong reasons, but I like to just do a little dance.
When he puts his hands up and he fucking that was dumb as shit.
But also,
I like when he blows on his face because it's how Greg and I communicate.
That's true.
I mean, Tim, you know me. I'm just the dude who loves variations of things.
Oh,
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Those Action Podcast. I don't think anyone gets naked in this entire film.
What are you talking about? There's this scene in the shower. That's the GIF I was
I'm
talking
talking
about.
that was sick.
That's a sick ass shot.
Jesus,
Jesus.
we're back. We're done.
Well, we got to end it. We talked about
Oh, you're right,
Remember
you're
they
right.
fucked in the shower.
They
They
do.
were fucking in the
This
shower.
movie does have boobs and some torso. That's
So-
It does have
well, it's got
torso.
me. It's got Jesse Smollett's torso.
Thinking of the other Predator movies and being like, oh, dude, those cool different mask variations. Love seeing those. I just love seeing different interpretations of the xenomorph, even though it's not really a xenomorph. But yeah, the peach color one they're just weird looking, man. They're fucking scary. The weird the mouth that doesn't exist and then just bites his hand off, like throats his fucking arm. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, it does.
I love how this movie insists on like, okay, there's the chest burster, but what if it burst out of a guy's back? And what if it burst out of his face?
But that's
And
the
like-
other. That's the other.
Ooh,
Like,
cuckoo.
I'm left with a lot of questions on this, and I think that's kind of purposefully done. I think they want you to like investigate a little bit more and like think about it. But I'm like, I just don't understand what this stuff does. And I know that David's been like on this
Anything.
planet for 10
Everything.
years, biomechanically engineering and like splicing DNA and
Crossbreeding.
crossbreeding and stuff. But we start off, and he's like, "Yeah, I did like this thing. Like I bred it. I spliced the DNA, and it killed all living organisms on this planet. And then it doesn't do that anymore. Now it makes a xenomorph. I just don't understand like where we're at with all. I guess he's trying to create the perfect thing, but then why does some of it go into a little thing that then boofs into your ear and then kills you, and then the thing comes out of your back, and then why does some of it just an egg that pops into like what?
We don't know.
What's the
So
rhyme or reason for all this?
Well, I think the permutations of it, right? Where he had to cross pollinate to get the face huggers in the egg,
Yes.
which means he probably cross pollinated with these little boofers, as you call them, out there
Okay,
that are
little
happening
boofs.
naturally off of whatever
But
DNA
then
they intersected.
How
with.
come the boofers? So like,
Yeah.
are the like my question is, what killed all the wildlife on the planet, and why
the boofers,
when I
the alien? Well,
well then why when the thing boofed in my face didn't it kill me?
well, could they die the same way here, right? My
The aliens
interpretation.
popped out of them?
Yeah,
So there's just aliens everywhere.
but I think now this is. Hey,
Hey,
how
man.
many movies are we in now?
17.
Forget
Oh, no,
This is
I'm
our
still
11th.
going. I'm still talking. I just have one
This is
question.
our 11th.
This is our 11th movie. Throughout this entire thing, we've argued over and over again, was the aliens sleeping or dying, right? So, like, every
good
time
point, good
we
point.
throw out any criticism
point.
of this fucking movie, some nerd burglar in the chat pops up and is like, well, remember, they die really quickly. So my thought would be that, like, he unleashes this on, and then I'm like, why did it look like a horse that one time and a dog? Well, whatever they get to changes their DNA and they kind of look like that.
Sure.
So I think when he unleashes it, it has its own little life cycle out there of some become boofers, which are like, we're going to be the face hugger eggs, but since we have to be activated like the face hugger eggs, so we sit there. But yeah, they basically infected all life on this planet, killed it because they gave them, and then all the things that burst out of them died because it was all buggy or whatever, like everything else, right?
Okay. Yeah.
This still leaves me as, and again, no future spoilers, even though I don't think that we'll get there, right? Like, my question had been before, like, okay, cool. How do we get, how do we get the facehuggers we know? I asked last week if this was that, and we said no future spoilers, blah, blah. And so now I'm still on the same point of like, cool. How did David, with 2,000 colonists that he could infect at will, I guess, get the aliens to the giant ship that we found in Alien 1, where we had the aliens we know that are the aliens? So, like, David now took these colonists and his alien facehuggers and aliens and found one of the giants and infected them and put them on their ship that then crashed on whatever it was from Alien
LV,
1.
whatever the hell.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, my problem with Prometheus and this is it's going out of its way to try to answer questions I wasn't asking.
Totally.
No one's
They're
asking.
aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. They evolved on a different planet. I'm not worried about like, oh no,
Who
but it
made
turns
them? Why
out
did they
there were
make
some
them?
boofers that got this. Cool. Now
Yeah.
you've made me question even
Convoluted.
more of how the fuck we got to where Sigourney Weaver ran into these fucking things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And now we've had two movies.
I wasn't
answer
asking those
I don't really
questions,
want.
but now I am.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm asking you, you have shitty answers.
Yeah. God dang it.
Make a movie about the big white alien that was Jesus. I want to see that. already.
Yeah. Do more of that.
Do more of that.
I didn't like
everybody.
how the big white Jesus men looked.
Ate shit.
They just look different here.
They had clothes on. and
Yeah.
stuff. They're like the Avatar TJ
Yeah, I
Maxx
mean-
versions.
It's totally like I didn't want this. I
Yeah.
didn't want them to be that. I wanted it just to be like 5 dudes that look the same sitting like around a table and like they're just like Dark Souls NPCs that it's like, oh, you just sit here for millennia or whatever. But
you play
it
the
was a
flute
whole
sometimes.
It's a whole civilization of just hanging out and like families and shit. And they just all get over and it's like, oh man, I always saw them as like something
Better
else.
than us. They do different things than us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just congregating for a fucking town
We're
square
gonna have
appointment.
a big welcome. Oh no, they've got all the nukes.
We're going to go through the entire plot of this movie right after a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Imperial. We've told you all how important it is to developers to wishlist games that you're interested in. So if this sounds cool to you, make sure you wishlist it. Imperial is a complex, feature-rich action RPG where you'll be sent to a planet in a far-off corner of the galaxy to explore an imposing monolith. As an elite mercenary, you'll join the expedition tasked with unearthing the secrets of the monolith and face off against the deadly automatons within. In Imperial, you'll explore 4 vastly different quadrants of the monolith, accessible only by using mysterious artifacts known as cartograms. Each cartogram affects which enemies, boss fights, and loot will appear when you enter the monolith, so no 2 excursions will be the same. Find even more cartograms to explore by looting defeated enemies or buy them from other players online at the trading post. Imperial features 3 weapon archetypes: the fast-paced acrobatic glaive, the defense-focused mace and shield, or the devastating cannon, with a range of customizable skills and abilities that can make short work of the awaiting automatons. Your weapons and abilities can be changed before any excursion into a cartogram, so if a loadout isn't working for you, you can mix things up to create the perfect playstyle. Help the members of the expedition in deep branching quests and aid other players in asynchronous multiplayer. Get ready, mercenaries. The monolith awaits. Imperial is available May 8th on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. Wishlist now. It helps so much. Wishlist Imperial.
This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. If you haven't called your mom in a while, here is your reminder to do it. But then you want to go above and beyond. Mother's Day is coming up, and I have the perfect gift idea. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day. Greg, Kevin, and a ton of people here at Kinda Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. So the next time you need to call your mom, you could also send her a new pic of you from that trip you're telling her all about. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Kinda Funny. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's super great that mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. We can do better. No reason for fear. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
Danny McBride is in this film. McBride, ooh, ooh. That's all I got, man.
Boy, man, it was fucking worth it.
I just couldn't think of nothing rhymes with Covenant. Like,
Oh man, it does continue the tradition of these movies
Shoving it.
at multiple times, making me go, "What the fuck? They're in this?" And this one had two. James Franco
Had a couple.
Dude,
yeah.
for the briefest fucking second.
Dude.
what was that about?
We're like right there. Let's just get to it because it happens like
why
immediately,
not?
right? Welcome everyone to Alien Covenant. We begin with a flashback. It of course is the one and only Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. Guy Pearce, I believe, is
No
his name.
wonder they made him look so shitty in part one.
They had
Makes
to.
so
they
much
had.
sense.
They had so much a future plan for him.
Yeah.
that he had to be here for this.
Remember, it was
scene.
supposed to be a trilogy.
Shut
So I
up.
don't
How
know
about
if they
that?
were
Do you
gonna
remember
bring it
that?
back.
Really?
Yeah. Really wanted to make a third after this, but they were like, "Nah, dude, we're good."
No man, they're like, we're good. We out skis.
Yeah, Langley M. Neely, a monster and xenomorph in his own right out there in the chat, was saying that this was supposed to be a reboot. That's why none of it makes sense. That's what he says. Langley M. Neely's been inside
sucks.
Ridley Scott's nightmares, so I don't know. Maybe he knows. Maybe he doesn't. Anyways, we get a flashback here of him talking to David and Walter. Right? It's
This is
they
David.
call him Walter. They call him David. I forget who they're
It's
calling him.
David. This is
already.
David.
They call him
This is
David.
David, yeah.
It's his original creation. They go back and forth. This is when I was already like, what? Okay, what are you doing again? Are we doing Prometheus exactly again or whatever? But they banter about life and creator and creations and basically get back to the Prometheus bit of like, what would you say to your creator if you could meet him? Well, I met you, but why are you doing the thing? Yeah, blah blah. What's up, in?
And like another fucking, hey, where'd you get them dice from? Oh, you're alone, Han Solo. Because you're alone.
Yeah.
What's your name? Looks up at the statue of David.
But
Yeah,
it was
dude,
that the
and
real
reels.
statue of David. That's the coolest thing. Is he's so rich, he owns it.
It's pretty cool.
That does make it a little cooler.
But I like the bookend, right, where he's like, "Play me a song." He's like, "What is it?" It's the entry of the gods into Valhalla.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. And then, of course, at the end, that's what he plays, but it's with the big symphony.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Always.
He's like, it's better with the symphony.
Again, apologies to everybody last week when we did this. When he was old and under the makeup, Guy Pearce. And Jen was like, who is that? And I was like, I can only give you Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. I saw all your comments, incredibly offended. I couldn't remember him from Memento or any of the actually good movies he's been in. I'm like, I only know him as Aldrich Killian. I'm sorry.
There's 3 polls. There's Memento, there's LA Confidential, which I know him from.
I haven't seen
And then there's Lockout, of course, which is the classic Guy Pearce movie where he has to go up to the space jail on the moon to save the president's daughter, and then they go.
That sounds
then they
sick.
That
Skydive.
sounds so much better than this movie.
Dude, it's fucking rad.
I would
It's
like to
pretty
see
sick.
that. I like to see
The
that.
best Halo map.
Instead, from there, we jump to 2104 on the ship Covenant.
We're gonna rank the ship names. Gonna rank the ship names.
Let's rank some ship names. What's up, everybody? It's a podcast within a podcast where we rank all the names of the ships that appear in the Alien vs. Predator movies. Currently, the list looks like this. Number 1, the Nostromo from Alien. Number 2, the Sulaco from Aliens. Number 3, Prometheus from Prometheus. Number 4, the Auriga from Alien Resurrection. Number 5, the Betty from Alien Resurrection. And number 6, Fiorina Fury 161 Alien 3.
We ranked that too low.
Where do we want to rank the one, the only Covenant from Alien
Below
Covenant?
Prometheus at number 4.
What's up with that above?
The Arugula.
I mean, which ship is Covenant?
Going there
The
on.
big one.
The big
big
one.
dick
But
Yeah.
but that's so. Here's my question, because I think this is pretty cool. I mean, it takes some style cues from the Nostromo, because the Nostromo was the ship that was like tugging the big mining ship, right?
We're not talking visuals, Nick. That's a different one.
We're talking names.
Just the name.
My
Rank the
apologies.
name of the ship.
Yeah, I think I'm with Andy here. Like Covenant, very cool, but this is another example of this movie where I've given Aliens and Predator so many props for like inspiring so many classic video games, Metroid and Halo and stuff. Covenant, come on, man, you're just stealing that shit from Halo.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I can't give him full credit there.
Next
I
one's
still
gonna be
think
called The Flood.
I think for me the list just breaks at Sulaco, which sounds like an Italian dish, and I don't like it. Right? So I'd put it at number 2,
why? 'Cause
but I lose the votes.
You think it's got Italian beans in it, don't you?
What am I thinking of? There's a
Sulaco, like a ziti or what?
no. There's some fucking dish.
Oh, you're
It's
thinking
cool.
about the fish. I'll think about
No,
it.
it doesn't matter. Anyways, the votes have it. I guess. Nick,
Sulaco
unless
is
you want to
cool.
vote with me or whatever. I don't know how.
Sure, I'll take it.
Because I have Prometheus at number 3 and this below that. Covenant at number 4. Above
Yeah, this is not
Auriga.
cooler than Prometheus.
No,
but
it's
yeah,
not cooler than
there you go,
Auriga's, but
then.
Auriga's hard to say.
Because Auriga sounds like an Italian dish.
Yeah, that's very true.
Auriga just sounds like a cartoon sound effect. Auriga! My eyes. I just saw an attractive woman. My eyes were bulging out of my head. Steam coming out of my ears.
Corey
You
Clark in
just
the
changed
YouTube
one
chat
of
says,
the-
"Are you thinking of souvlaki?
No. That I know. Salugu. What is it? I don't know. I can't pronounce
Salumi?
it. Salugu. I don't know. Next time I'm going to go back to Fiorella. I'll find out what the fuck it's called for
Okay.
everybody. Okay. Anyways, Alien Covenant's ship Covenant goes in at number 4. Thank you very much.
Here's a question I have that I don't actually want the answer because I don't want future spoilers, even though it's not that big of a deal. So from here on out are just the names of these movies, the ship names. Because Prometheus with the ship, Covenant the ship, is Romulus the fucking ship.
Oh, shit.
Because that's a fucking cool
Oh,
name. That'd
shit.
be very fucking high.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Well, you got me really pumped.
Let's see.
God damn. Romulus is a cool. Put that at number 2.
Okay. Well,
What's number 1 right now?
Nostromo.
Nostromo, man.
Fuck,
Come
okay,
on.
I don't know if Romulus is cooler than that.
Definitely
if it is, we'll see.
Anyways, the Covenant's out there and it's gonna go colonize Jenny Ortega. It's got like 2,000. It's going to like Auriga 6.
Oh, okay.
I call the planet Jenny Ortega. Get on board or get out of the
Okay.
way. All right.
Yeah.
Who's got the belt right now?
Yeah.
Not you. Me.
Okay.
You should name, if you and Jen ever have another kid, Nostromo.
Nostromo Miller.
Or Sulaco
Nostromo
Miller.
Nostromo Sulaku Miller. Are you an Aliens fan? No. Why?
Dad can't pronounce her middle name
I
to
love
save his life.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, man. We were talking about that the other day because like Egon,
were you?
Egon wasn't in the running, but it wasn't out of the running.
Egon
you
Miller would have been a
imagine-
fucking great name.
Sure,
Ben's great.
but imagine I'm dropping him off at school in my freaking Mini Cooper. It's got an Ecto 1 license plate. I'm dressed as a Ghostbuster.
really
The kid's
embarrassing.
named Egon.
Yeah.
We've gone too far. We've gone through the looking
You just
glass
keep
on that.
introducing your wife as Janine.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Jen's
yeah.
like, that is not my name.
Well, you know.
What was the name of the planet? Like the one that you're calling?
Or a guy, I want to say.
or Auriga Set 3 or something. Or Guy 3.
Yeah, or guy 6.
Or a guy 6.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Ori gay, or a guy, or a gay.
So looking at Wikipedia, it seems like this is Prometheus was 20 years before Alien 1. This is 10 years before Alien 1.
Okay.
Just for context.
Correct, because he says he was on the planet for 10 years.
Yeah. But I'm just
Well,
saying
no, he's
in
talking about
relation to
Alien
Alien 1.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah.
And
then
also,
there-
according to Langley and Mealy, none of it matters. So don't worry about it.
And then there was
I mean,
a
that's fair,
massive just loss of technology across the world, and then we switched to fucking tube
Analog
TVs
shit, yeah.
in that one. You know, see what I'm saying? We could
yeah,
have had everything
no,
analog.
let's
and
see.
cool.
Let's go back to the nerd burglars. They're going to tell you, well, remember, they were financed really well. That's
I
why their
believe
ships
that.
look better. And again, now the way they're freezing and unfreezing people is different too. They got better tubes here because this colony ship had better. Shut the fuck up, nerd burglars. Just admit it don't make sense.
OMG Alex got me real good with his next one will be Garaka Miller.
That's a middle name.
I was
All
laughing.
right? That's a middle name.
I was laughing
What if it had
so
been Ben
hard.
Garaka?
I was laughing so hard on the drive home, just being like, "Man, you could not pay me $1 million to think of the villain in Ghostbusters."
I didn't even know that villain had a name.
Underutilized. He was underutilized.
the
He
Ice
should have gone
King.
to Hollywood Horror Nights because he was a big enough deal to be featured there. Everybody, all right. I
Garaka.
don't see fucking Michael Fassbender's weird ass dildo robots walking around over there.
Who do the Ghostbusters people? What they have shit on somebody? Like,
Why? Because they keep letting him make these movies.
it's unbelievable.
Oh my god, this is supposed to be a fast plot. Not for a time. I just thought because it's a shortish movie. Anyways, we're on the ship now. It's the Covenant. Congratulations, everybody. Everybody's having a good little sleep, and we get what's his name? Wesley.
Walter.
Wesley's walking around. And he's just doing the alien
Yep.
shit again. Blue, blue, blue. You know, and he's a fucking droid. We get it. He's
What are you
touching the
gonna do,
things.
Walter?
He's still touching everybody's screen. No dreams, but he looks like he could do it, but he's not doing it.
he
But
ain't
he's doing it.
He's not
Do we
David.
know? And everything's just fucking max chillaxing, you know what I mean? It's a wow, like this fucking wave goes out across the universe, right? Some kind of like, what do they call it?
think it was like a
neutrino
neutrino.
burst.
Oh,
A sudden
right.
neutrino burst goes off.
Well, I think
And he's
it's
like,
at first I
"Mother,
thought-
make sure to turn off the sensors, mother." Like fucking.
He put up
Mamu.
his sign, his solar charging panels. This thing comes through, it fucks them up, but then it shoots. There's fires all over the place, like emergency, wake up the crew, whatever. These poor bastards are getting up there, they're just throwing up. There's smoke and fire, everything. Oh, what the fuck's going on? And then James Franco's tomb,
Save him.
just
save
fucking
him.
burning alive while his wife's banging on the outside
Holy
of it.
shit.
Could you tell it was James Franco?
No.
I think
To any of
at a
us?
glance before it goes, I was like, he looks familiar, and I was like, it looked like Franco, and then it was obviously when he's dead, we go to his room or her room where she looks at an aura frame, use a promo code, kind of funny, and she's like, oh, and he's like, I'm up on a mountain.
We shoot. Why don't you hear?
Why don't you hear it? His friend almost dies
Died.
behind. He's like, I'm like, man, I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah.
He
That
was the
sucks.
captain.
It's
That
literally
guy
just
was the
watching
captain?
27 hours.
But
on
Then
that
they show.
fucking
Remember
thing.
when they like later when they're like, we gotta honor him. They show a picture of him, and he's got the thing that like the Virgin Mary had. Like he's like Jesus in the middle of the fucking Last Supper picture that they show later. Like, what are we talking about here? You don't remember this part?
No, I don't. It didn't stand out to me as a.
Well, they
You
go-
probably rented version 5 of 7.
That's 100%. It's literally we'll skip ahead a little. They go, "Oh, Billy Crudup, you're the new thing," and he's like, "Oh, I was never going to be the captain before because I'm really religious." You're like, why does that matter?
Yeah.
Oh, because we have to explore the theme of faith versus science versus this versus that. And they go, "Hey, man, can we just take like 1 second to honor our crew?" And he goes, "No, we got to fix the thing because the neutrino blast might come again." And then he goes, "Okay." And then
that's what
remember
would
he
Jesus
catches
do?
them like pouring out some whiskey.
Yeah.
For them, and they're looking at a picture of him, and they're all there, and he's in the middle, and he looks like Jesus. It's very weird. Maybe
Well,
maybe it
he's the
was
captain.
Millennium
No, I
Homage.
believe it. I just it didn't. I catch on weird things all the time. It just didn't catch me. All the time.
Yeah, I
Very
remember the
strange.
picture. I don't remember like James Franco could have been in the goblin outfit, and I would have not noticed.
Fair
that
enough,
picture.
but
Yeah, okay.
it's odd that they got. And I don't remember when Franco had the controversies happening, but I think it was after this. So it's very
it must have
weird
been. It was after. Yeah.
that they
It was
just
after
they just-
2017.
Oh yeah, it had to have been.
James. No way. We were at IGN when James Franco first started going through stuff. When he was like texting the underage girl and stuff.
No, but this was like remember he started a college.
Yeah, I
Just
remember that. Oh.
like it was like some sort of college, and then they were like, "Hey, this is bullshit. What's happening?"
Hello. This is
This is the picture.
this
Look, it
is
looks like
okay.
Jesus.
I see it. Yeah.
Like, why is he wearing that?
Everybody, we have Chris Ank on the phone. Hello, Chris.
Hi, just for some context, it probably won't help you with how you guys the film. But before this film came out, they filmed 2 short films, and one of them is about the crew before they're going to sleep, which is where you get a lot more James Franco because it is a really fucking weird thing that they have him in here and they kill him in 2 scenes. And the other film they did is about David and Elizabeth going to the planet and actually about their time on that ship. And you kind of get a bit more of like why David is like this and like his kind of his feelings for Elizabeth. But it's like they're just 2 weird YouTube shorts that just like aren't really part of the film, but
Okay.
they're out there and they're in canon. So
How
it's weird.
short are they?
Like 2-3 minutes long.
That's insane.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Probably, I mean, sure
Thank you,
enough to
Chris.
have probably
Just
included
yeah.
in this movie.
Do you know anything about when? Oh, he's gone. I would like to officially move that we stop this interview. Then I don't think, in good conscience, we can
We
we
can't
can
go
rank and
on.
review without these 4 minutes of footage that would set
Fair
all this
enough.
right. You know what I
More
mean?
James Franco.
All
be
up
everything.
says he groomed his students systemically systematically. I believe they were. So when you brought up the grooming, because I knew there was underage girls, so, dude.
I started college.
I
and it was like just to try to get like underage or not underage actors, but like actors to like do horrible shit.
I was thinking like,
that
no,
was the
you're probably
accusation,
thinking Jared
allegedly.
Leto, but no, they both did really weird shit.
Leto, I don't know. I don't follow Leto, but I know he hasn't been.
Leto had a
He's
cult,
still working
right?
though. He's
Leto
still
had a
working.
cult?
Look, I'm uninformed enough that I don't want to comment on any of this officially.
You could just say allegedly. I think
just say
Leto
allegedly.
allegedly had a cult.
Did
with
he?
like
But he's still working though, so it wasn't that. I mean,
Wasn't a
he didn't get like
successful cult.
ostracized because he's in Tron Ares coming up, right? That's a big Disney movie.
yeah, but there's a lot of people being like, "Fuck, I don't want to watch Tron Ares because of this asshole." You know,
well, either way, I'm glad.
We'll look into
Langley
it.
says Leto didn't have a real cult. It's not real.
that was a joke. Because there's pictures of him. Okay, I'm gonna look into this.
But what
Thank you.
about? Yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm about
All
to go
right,
down
great.
a dark level of humor on this that we don't need.
They get the fires put out. They we said all this stuff. They lay him to rest, even though he didn't want. Oh, they didn't listen to me, and he's like, "You gotta let him be," or whatever.
And
then they go ahead. Sorry.
Billy Crudup, love Billy Crudup, right?
What I don't like about Billy Crudup is he looks too much like the guy who was in E.T., and so I can't keep him apart.
Yeah, but wasn't he Barry's dad in The Flash at one point?
Oh,
Was it him or E.T. guy? I can't fucking keep it straight. Did I stutter?
I think it was Billy Crudup.
Is
I
it the guy
love
from
him
Friday
in
Night Lights?
the Kid Hudson movie about the Rolling Stones. What am I looking at? What was that movie?
Almost famous.
Almost
yes,
Famous.
that is him.
Great in
That
that. And then he just in this movie, I just don't like this character at all. I actually don't like any of the characters in this movie, with the exception of maybe Danny McBride, because
is him. No, he
you just
makes
gotta
the
love
worst
Danny
decisions.
McBride. Oh, the character is terrible, but I love Danny McBride
Oh.
mostly because I always think about it. He's like, check this out, homie. See this? He's like, smooth. It's aerodynamics when I fight.
a great line. It's a great line.
I must have had a typo because I was like, "What the fuck was I saying here?" They take a shit and launch his body into space.
Shot.
Take a shot.
They take a
and
shot.
launch his body into space. It makes a
They
lot
didn't
more
listen to
sense.
me. They honored the dead.
There was something
up,
going
idiot.
here that just like the idea of this new guy having to take on being the captain because the beloved captain just died, James Franco, and his first course of action being like, we can't like have a moment for a minute. What the hell? And like, oh, like I'm a man of faith. None of this added up.
No.
You know,
It was weird. I thought I missed something when I was
yeah,
watching.
it's
I
like
didn't miss
very
that.
weird,
It
and
makes no
like
sense.
no one's gonna respect you, man. And like the whole speech that we're about to get to very soon of like, hey, you're gonna have to live with these people. Like you're captain right now, but like
Right.
they're gonna be your
They're gonna be your
neighbors on
neighbors
this
soon.
planet. It's like, yeah, dude.
Well, he has a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get picked as captain because he's religious, and the company was like, "We don't want you to be captain because we think
don't
you're
even know
zealot of
Jesus
We
some
don't
or
sort."
trust that you're gonna make good decisions.
Right.
Everyone else here, best decisions.
Right.
Every
And
other
then
husband
he
and wife
makes them.
combo that's here for some reason.
And then the first decision he makes is, "Let's not honor our dead," which you could rationalize that because you're like, "Hey, there might be another. We got to get these sales fixed. We have to right the ship first." And then, but all he would have had to say was like, "Hey guys, let's just fix the ship 1st, which should be the correct order of operation. Because if the ship explodes, we all die. So let's do that first, and then we will have funerals for our dead. We'll bury our
Straight
dead."
up.
Which all he had to say, but instead he was like, "Just do what I say." And then he chomps off, and he's like, "They don't respect me." I'm like, "Well, you're kind of a dick." And then he proceeds to make the world's worst decision, which is let's just go to this uncharted planet.
Incredible. Like,
So
incredible.
while they send Danny McBride out to fix the solar panel, he fixes it. Hip hip hooray! On the way back, he gets wow wow, and he gets a little. He picks up a rogue transmission in his head. So, whoa, y'all see that? Eastbound and down
Is that
voice. I
John
can't do it.
Denver?
And then he comes in and they watch it and they listen to it and he starts singing John
It's the
Denver,
Greg song.
a song that like
The little storage cards, Greg. Is that the ones you use
I'm
in Switch
great
2?
at singing. I'm great at music. I can't tell you a song from 200 years ago, right? But this guy sure can. He sure can.
Well, they stopped making music after like
Got it.
21. Was that in the first movie?
No,
Mm-mm.
her singing John Denver.
Why would it be,
no.
Nick? This
Remember,
is so
she got-
fucking weird.
It
She
was
got
in
on
the
the ship
YouTube
and flew
short.
away. It must have been in the. Honestly, it probably was in the
Oh,
YouTube
God.
short. Again, we
That's
should
so
we should
funny.
do our due diligence and stop this episode right now. We're playing this entire thing under protest. We have another mall rat situation on our hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a second mall rat.
Anyways, though, they piece it together, and holy shit, why would there be a human transition all the way out here? They trace it. Mother traces it all the way back. They trace it all the way back to this new planet that looks perfect for inhabitable people and us, and it's everything we possibly need. It's a Goldilocks, whatever.
It's really hard to make like space floating in an astronaut suit look cool because
Gravity did it.
it looks like it should, but it never looks like we want it to. Like you know what I mean? Like because you have the single bright ass light source from the only star out there, and that shit's lighting you, but because of that, it looks bad, you know, and it looks fake. Go ahead, Nick Scarpino.
There's a moment where Danny McBride takes I would say probably a 2 to 3 inch thick cable and just takes a little laser gun and goes,
It's cool.
and I think
Kevin
to
would buy
myself,
one of those.
that's really fucking cool. A handheld laser gun that can cut through fucking steel cabling, right? Like it's Swiss shit, like a hot knife through butter, right? And then when we go to the planet, let's just use AR-15s, whatever, just regular fucking bullets. We don't have some sort of laser technology gun that we can take to these planets.
It only works in 0G.
Oh, fair. Because that's how light doesn't work with gravity.
I also like the idea that his laser just keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gone. It's gonna burst one.
Yeah, if you use it on a panel with gravity, the laser like falls down.
Well, holy shit! Like this thing looks great. Jenny Ortega's planet. It's still years away, and it doesn't even have these numbers. So what should we do? Like, let's go there. Like, let's just go and look at it. Says the guy from ET, who might not be from ET. He's like, let's just go look at it. I'm the captain.
What sucks the most is that somebody looks at him and is like, none of us want to go back to sleep. It's like that shouldn't be the deciding
It shouldn't
factor
matter.
of this.
Yeah.
You're the captain. You want
Do I need to remind
respect.
you none of them want?
Yeah, you go. Sorry, guys. Hey, we reconned this planet for years before we did all the scientific data we possibly could beforehand. Get back in the fucking pod, or stay up for 7 years. Those are your choices.
Instead, the clone of Ali Sheeting, who's mourning the loss of James Franco, has to say all that to him, and he's still like, "It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna have a part of this or whatever."
Yeah.
And so he's like, she's all mad about it. And she walks off, and they change course and they go to this planet.
Was it him just trying to be like, look, I can be a leader?
No,
Was
it's
it just him trying to do that?
No,
It's some Jesus thing.
it's a Jesus. It's like it's God's intervention thing, and it's them examining that. But it just doesn't work very well because we never get to a precipice where any of our characters have to choose between science and faith. If they don't learn anything, there's never a crossroad. There's never a moment where the character goes, "Oh my God, I have to take a leap of faith." And then God is real or not real. I don't know. It just is never
Billy
there.
Crudup took a leap of faith and walked into that little
sure
basement
fucking
with
did.
Fassbender.
He sure did. And then it said, "Gah!"
Remember Leap of Faith in Spider-Verse? That was cool.
Wow.
So cool.
Remember the movie Leap of Faith with
None of us do.
Wait, no, I do.
not Martin Sheen, Martin Short. What's his name?
No, maybe
Steve Martin.
Oh. Oh yeah, where he's like the preacher. Yeah.
The confidence. Like, what do you
So they
eventually
bring the
get to
whole
Steve
fucking
Martin?
ship over to find this new planet that was just a few weeks away. That's how we communicate, guys.
Audio listeners, they're blowing air on each other's faces.
Holy shit.
They bring the ship over there and they roll up on this planet, and you can just look at it and know it's evil. Like you
What?
roll up on any
Dude,
planet and it's just
ionic
constant
storms.
lightning storms. You can see all these storms. Like, I don't get me wrong, I understand a storm passing. That happens on our planet too. If the thing is covered in storms, like, I'm not going down there. Why are we going to go down there? What are
Yeah,
you
Ion Storm is very, very scary sounding. Nick.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go ahead.
This is kind of a layman's question, but follow me. You ever like go to some place you've never been to before and you dial up your GPS, right? And you drive there. Do you just randomly park wherever? Or do you drive
down
past
there.
the place first and go, I see it, and then you circle around a couple times to find the nearest parking spot that feels right? Which one do you do?
I do more preparation driving anywhere than they do going to somewhere they've never been. And again, let's walk with our fucking helmets off.
What helmets?
Why?
There's not even
What
helmets.
the
They don't even
fuck?
have helmets in this.
Why?
They have arguably cool, rip-offs of Star Wars.
Oh, the little ear
The little
flap
flappy things
Yeah.
that always make me think of like
Arguably
Snoopy's
cool.
ears. Well, they look
It's a-
kind of cool.
You'd have to make an argument, man. A compelling
The
one.
anoraks? Come on.
They
that-
roll
the
up. It
fifth's
looks
sick.
evil. They
Here's the thing, it
a
doesn't
group
look
of them.
evil. It looks like the fucking beautiful planet from Prometheus. Like it,
No, I'm
but
talking about from above the clouds.
Yeah,
though.
okay, yeah, yeah.
You guys. I fucking missed the meeting at Kind of Funny, where apparently it's a 4-person plot recap, and we can jump way the fuck ahead because my guys aren't even through the fucking shield yet. They're still up here deciding if they're going to the ground. You guys are like, oh, then the thing pops out of Billy Cruz's chest. I'm like, oh, that's not where I'm at. But I guess I everyone can read from the sacred text now. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Greg's
learn
right
the
though.
language.
From the space view, the
Greg, blow on Andy.
From the space view, the clouds looked like really angry.
Get it, man.
There was an angry face in the clouds.
It was just one giant storm. Everything you
Yeah.
said happens. They come down. It's a rough landing. They get through. They do the thing, but they can't talk back to the ship. They get down. Then they get out and they're just we're gonna walk. No helmets. No nothing. No tests. No whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's a very I thought convoluted conversation as they leave the one woman there, where it makes it sound like going to quarantine already, like shut it down or whatever.
They
and,
literally say, hey, man, shut the ship up. She's like, cool. And then just doesn't do any of that and doesn't do any of it. just hangs out. It's like all of us whenever Tim leaves.
Mhm.
We just fuck off.
I'll
Do nothing.
tell you what I didn't like. The little, the what were you calling the booth? The
boofers.
the air booth or whatever. The air booth, the first one, looked noticeably like large in size to where the human eye could see it. And then it became the smallest, most microscopic.
I think that was just a camera trick, though, right? Like, wasn't because I feel like they did like a weird little like lensy thing of like it made you think, oh, it's big, but it's like no, actually, it's really tiny. I don't think it got smaller. I think it was like a perspective play as it got into his fucking ear.
Bring it up, Kevin.
They get there. They're marching. They're gonna break into two teams. The one woman from the Penguins gonna go with the one guy who's just a white guy.
But
and what?
Am I crazy in thinking these guns they all grab guns? Which I'm like, thankfully, so they have some sort of projectile weapon. But these guns look like they're from now, not 200 years into the future, right?
Yeah.
Like when we get to Aliens, they make a big deal of being like, hey, these are pulse rifles with like exploding tip, like fucking I forget the term they used for it, but it was some sort of like nuclear exploding tip thing, which is why when they hit an alien, it just explodes their heads.
Oh, Penguin, the wife's.
She's
Look, you start talking like
she's a sex worker, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna marry her one day, you know.
Hey.
As a ding.
And she's great.
This movie's the worst of all.
And she goes out just real sad in this one. Just the
We'll get
blood,
there.
the blood
You're
got
almost
her.
there. You're almost there. You guys, again, you're just, it's like I'm fucking watching Memento the way y'all telling the story out of order.
And
That's
then
cool,
the
whatever you
credits hit.
want. Anyways,
So much going on in this one,
the penguin lady and the guy go over there, and the guy steps on it when he says he's gonna go take a leak, but he really wants to go have a smoke break. And then, this is what's happening if you're watching this too. And the thing comes up, and he gets up, and it goes in his ear like venom, venom, venom. The other group, they're walking along and they're checking things out and they're seeing stuff and they're making
Real
a lot
quick,
of
you
comments.
just brought up Venom, which means we have to talk about the Eminem song Venom. That came up on my shuffle recently.
Yeah.
And you know what the most upsetting thing?
Slaps.
The song, not bad at all. I would almost go as far as say it slaps. It's just the chorus is the most god-awful thing in history. But if you just listen to the first minute of that song, Andy, do it on your way home.
Okay, well.
You're going to be fucking shocked.
We all will. Another just pet peeve of mine for this, though, is they're like, where's the signal? Well, it's 8 kilometers up the mountain. Well, I guess we have to walk. There's no possible way we could take the ship, just do a quick flyover, and see all the burnt bodies that are sitting at the bottom of this fucking temple, right? Like,
It's a great call.
what the? They have one throwaway line where like, well, I don't like this terrain, so I'm gonna land in the water down there. Okay, that sounds good. But there's a distress signal coming from 8 kilometers away. If
An elevation.
but you have a ship that can go up to space. And they're like, and it's not. They don't even say that it's like the ship's like hurt or not hurt, but like wrecked at all. They're like, oh, we can't have a little problem calling back up to the ship. Do a flyover, see the dead bodies. This is obviously the devil's work.
Everyone's
Fly
asleep.
back
We
to your
got
ship.
all the time in
leave.
the world. We got all the time in the world. Instead, they don't. You just saw the infection there for that guy. Meanwhile, the other group's walking, and Billy Crudup actually tells the widow, James Franco's widow, who I referred to as Ali Sheedy's clone, and everybody stared at me, but I thought she looked too much like her. I couldn't do it.
Really?
I just don't know who you're saying.
Daniels, Catherine Watterson,
The main woman. Yeah.
It looks like whose clone?
Ali
Ali
Sheedy
Sheedy.
from the Breakfast Club.
You were. It was 20
You were
years
a
before your
zygote.
time.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
You were sperm
Exactly. You ever think about that? Him as a sperm?
I do all the time, actually. I like to think about where I was at when Tim was conceived. Riverside, probably.
That's
Probably at the
fucked
video
up,
is.
Man, imagine that.
I was probably,
would love to know where
I was
we were.
probably at the video is trying to look through those little barn doors in the back,
Sure,
the
sure.
adult section.
Anyways, Billy Crudup tells the widow about this would be a good place for a log cabin, right? And she's like, oh, you're right. See, she looks like that. That's Sally Sheedy. Now, granted, I mean, Kevin's bringing up a modern day photo of her, not when she was in Breakfast Club. Not that it matters that much, but just for the record. And then, so this log cabin thing becomes a thing. It'll be important later. They're walking. The one guy, who is this guy? The guy who's in.
This
I thought-
dude, Lope.
Yeah. Because click
head of
on him.
security.
What was he else? What's he known for? Because I want to say he was
take a
known.
look.
He was in Weeds. Was he in Weeds? And was he the main woman in Weeds?
He was in The Hateful Eight, Godzilla vs. Kong, A Better Life, and Machete
Scroll down and
Kills.
give me a Weeds. Give me a Control F Weeds.
No weeds, Greg. I don't see a weeds.
Well,
in
you
there.
gotta
gotta
expand.
get
If
the
you don't go down, you don't
CTR.
go down. See, you gotta, yeah, exactly,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, you're right,
So you never
sorry.
used IMDb before, I'm sure.
Well, it's not there.
Yeah, there's weeds.
Thank
There's
you.
weeds.
Look at that.
27 episodes.
Yes.
Thank
Esteban
you. Yeah, yeah,
Reyes.
he was very important in that. So, but I didn't want to
Wait.
miscast him.
How come I didn't pull it up?
Well, because
Do I
you
have to capitalize?
It has to be.
Oh, I had to capitalize it.
No, it's
Yeah, I did. Look.
no, but it's
Look.
if you leave the search up while you hit CR, you have
Damn
to edit what you searched for.
Anyways,
Greg,
he's
it was
there.
in weeds. 27
Thank, I
episodes.
nailed it. I crushed it. I love Weeds,
27
man.
episodes.
Weeds
Wow.
was a good one. You know what I mean? So they're walking. They're doing
No,
their
it
thing.
really wasn't. It like jumped.
Yeah,
the
no,
shark
it jumped the shark. Well, I mean,
really
come on
quick.
now. Every show does at some point, with the exception of Smallville. Anyways, we're moving on. We're walking. We're doing the thing. The guy from Weeds. He's like, we're getting close. And he's like, look at this shit. Like fucking trees are all cut off at the top. Some shit happened here. Like, oh my god, that's
Did
crazy.
you catch that he also is the husband of one of the other guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they're all married.
I didn't realize that until
When the guy dies.
the guy
that's
dies
the
and
first
he's
time
like,
he
my love. And I was
reveals.
like, is everyone paired
Yeah.
up on this? Like, this
Yeah.
is the worst idea
Hey,
ever.
we're gonna go start a colony, and we need a crew that's all married. But again, why not put the fucking Jen? I can be a pilot. Jen can be whatever. She can go get frozen. We're both frozen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna age a couple of years while I make sure we do whatever. I guess.
Yeah,
But like,
you come out a little more distinguished.
I was still sleeping.
a little salt and pepper.
I was sleeping. She was sleeping. Again, I think put
here's
the
my
people
question
they
is,
love.
why does it matter? Like, I mean, it's convenient and weird and doesn't make sense, but like, what's the difference?
If she would, if my loved one was in the colony, I would be looking out for the good of the colony.
not the stupid people on the planet.
Versus if we're there and we're separating that way, it would be
Like,
easier
there's-
for me not to give a fuck about the people I send on the rescue mission down there if I'm captain.
Or at least remain professional and be like, hey, we have to do quarantine protocol
Yeah.
and not let them back on this massive ship because they'll kill
Not
everyone.
everyone be in love with each other.
Which is hilarious because I had this exact same conversation with my wife. I was like, see, I don't think I could. I was like, if I was Danny McBride, I would probably I'd be so torn. I would have to go down there and save you. And I was like, wouldn't you want to save me if the roles were reversed? She's like, fuck no, I'm leaving you on that planet. Look at that fucking thing. It's terrifying.
yeah. I told Jen, lucky you'll never have thought about this because the first sign of any of this shit, I'm blowing my face off. When I'm looking through the window, like when the woman runs back with the shotgun before she slips in the blood, and I'm looking through the window and this thing coming out of this guy's back, I'm like, peace be with you. Bam. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want
Just paint
any
the
of this.
ceiling.
I don't want any of this.
No,
No,
paint the
thank
ceiling.
you.
I hate the way he falls over.
And I'll tell you the
Yeah.
other thing I hate about this scene that we're not to, that we're just all, "Ooh, fuck this in review. It doesn't need to have a fucking thing anymore." When the woman from the Penguin, when she gets locked in the room and she's like, let me out of the room. And then like, I can't, it's quarantine protocol, but I got a shotgun on the other side, right? And then the other dude starts wigging out when he's about to explode. And first off, cool animation on him wigging out, right? Like,
Yeah, good job on that guy.
She comes over and she hugs him.
Yeah, what the
and I was
What
like,
the fuck was that choice?
What are you doing?
here's the choice. Is it would have been perfect if the next scene doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because when she yells, "Let me out of the thing," and the woman's like, "I can't let you out. It's quarantine. I got a shotgun out here. Sorry," or she doesn't have a shotgun, but I can't let you out. It's quarantine. I'm watching them. Like, oh man, she just accepted her fate of whatever's about to happen with this guy. She's part of it now, and she goes and hug him. And it would have been, I think, the better choice of the alien explodes out of his back, stabs her in the hand like it does, and she's like, "Oh my god," and then it just kills her. Instead of her being like, "I accept my fate, I hug you, ow, oh my god, it's an alien," back to pounding on the door, "Let me out." I was like, you can't have it both ways.
I thought this whole thing was a fucking mess.
I
to
agree
your
with that.
point. And
I
like the
agree with
woman
that.
on the outside, like I hated it. I
Danny
hated every
McBride's
choice
wife.
she made. Yeah,
Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
McBride's wife is like my least favorite part of this movie.
What about
And
when?
that's saying
What about
something.
when she slips in the blood?
It's just insane. All of it's fucking insane. And is it her body that's flaming, rolling down the ramp?
Yes.
I was clapping at that part.
Wow.
Thank God.
And I get in trouble for my Thunderbolts reaction.
Who's the Space Family? The TV show of all
Jets-
of
The Jetsons?
No, the other one.
Lost in Space?
Lost in Space.
Yeah.
You imagine, like, man, there'd be a lot of like, oh, we have too many people in danger out there. They would be the worst people to really pilot the crew. Too many people that they're close with. You know what I mean?
They're the family.
They're all a big
Yeah,
family.
it's true. The whole thing's a family.
You know how Mark Wahlberg?
Interviews today's such a trapeze, and it's like I could not grab Andy on that reference. I was just like, "I'll see you later."
I was with him.
You know how
I know
Mark
you are.
Wahlberg said
Blow his face.
he could have stopped 9/11,
Yeah, he definitely could have.
and he wishes that he was on that plane.
Yeah, I wish he was on that plane too. Sometimes. Stay
I
prayed
feel
up.
that way about
Stay prayed
the
up.
Penguin's wife
Yeah.
in this room. If you would have put me in that room with a knife like she had, and that little fucking thing's like
He's so small.
before
He's
it
a little
does the
pumpkin.
even crawly thing,
You
because I
stab the
still think
shit
I
out of
would
it.
like have been in control in that situation. But when it's just kind of moving on the ground, I would have just like fucking You know, like
It had spiky back.
It's
chopping
sharp.
carrots and shit. I don't give a damn, dude.
I think we make a covenant right now.
Put me in
between
the
four
room.
of us.
Yeah.
If anything that size ever comes out of any of us in front of the other person, you fucking stab it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deal.
Don't hug me. Don't touch me. Let me go. Or call Kevin for Christ's sake, and he'll stab everything
my
in that
God.
fucking room.
it's not even a stab situation for me. Like I'm grabbing the head up.
Yes, snap it.
At the neck, at the fucking torso, like
Like you're
just
eating
all
crab.
of it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Grab by the legs. Swing the
Pull me in that room, man.
So again, all that this happens, but remember, just to jump back, it doesn't really fucking matter. We jump all the way back to the ship they were on, right? And they get to play the little message of her singing John Denver or whatever, and they see it was her,
So
Elizabeth Shaw from the first movie, Prometheus, whatever it was.
Elizabeth Shaw was like zero reference to John Denver, at least that I don't know of.
I mean,
She's
she
not even
was French /
American.
Swedish. Yeah, I don't know.
she's.
Maybe she liked Fallout though. Remember the other guy there also got infected. The guy who's the lover of the guy from Weeds. They then get the call. You know, the guy's flipping out. They drag the guy flipping out. Everything that just happened in the room with the blood and the little guy and the explosion. But then on the other side, remember they're trying to get back the lover guy too, and he's fucking flipping out or whatever. And they get out and just into like the fucking reeds, and then the thing pops out of him, and then the explosion happens over there, and
His
then
mouth.
yeah, that's right.
Like it's a violent like throat situation. It
Yeah,
pops out of
yeah,
his mouth.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
oh yeah,
gross.
because she shoots she's trying to shoot the little
Yeah,
crawly guy.
I thought we covered
Yeah,
that because we
yeah,
already talked
big
about the flaming
explosion.
body coming out. But you saw the movie, everybody. You
I
know.
was also kind of so lost in this part that when it blows up, I was like, "Damn, Danny McBride died." Like I thought he was on that ship.
Oh,
I
There's
thought
still-
that was the
Danny
ship.
McBride and the other married couple, or at least fucking couple, are still up there trying to radio back down. They can't the whole time or whatever. They put pinned down Billy Crudup, who might have been inside of E.T. And then you know what I'm saying there, everybody. Billy, if you're watching, I'm just joshing.
What was that saying?
Tom Hardy shit, dude.
They get him back up. They get back up. And they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do.
We
And
keep saying like how like this is just Prometheus again or whatever, but like the planes of action of like them being caught in the room and the thing bursting out, and, like opening the door, and then the other group trying to get back onto the ship. I'm like, we literally saw this last
just
week.
saw this.
And I get that sure these moviegoers, it's been 5 years, but I'm like, this was the worst version of it. And not saying the last one was great for either of those scenes, but they were better than this. And then you get to the scene of them in the field or whatever. One of the moments I was like, okay, we're cooking here. David shows up. And I'm like,
we're not there yet, though.
No, these things start hunting them like velociraptors.
Exactly,
They're
they're in
awesome,
the
which
weeds,
is
right?
sick.
And all
I
hell's
liked it.
breaking loose. And one goes to jump on the widow, and Walter
Walter.
puts out his arm, and then he puts it in his face, and then he chops on his arm and throws him off. And then there's some shooting, there's some stuff going on, yada yada.
That dude
And-
gets his jaw knocked off. Holy
Yeah,
fuck!
not
by
dead.
the tail.
not necessarily. It's the type of violence I'm like, we don't need.
No, it
this.
was awesome. It was sick.
And then David shows up, and he's like fucking Highlander. I'm Link in my little garb.
Dumb as
saying, uh,
fuck, awesome as fuck. Like
Yeah,
I
what
was
is-
like,
was
I'm
he
here
shocks
for the
him to
idea
death? I
of
forget. He
them.
shocks one of them. What does he do?
No, he just shoots a flare up into the,
Right.
into
Yeah.
the
And they all run- they
sky,
all run from
and
that,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes a sound, and then they run away, which makes no sense because you're like, why?
He is their father. He is their teacher.
Was
he
it their
knows them.
teacher?
Anyways, he's like,
David?
follow me if you want to live. And so they all walk back to David's HQ, which is surrounded by just trillions of burnt corpses.
Hmm.
Just so many
Nothing
dead.
to see here, folks. Nothing to worry about at all. No questions that any of us would ask of like, hey, what happened here?
Yeah,
Now, David, this clearly psychotic android who's running around with culottes on like a fucking hobbit from Lord of the Rings, just his
Yeah.
bare feet out. He's fine. He's a cool guy.
The
We'll just
dogs
trust
be
him.
barking.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat was asking, how did he get his body back? Elizabeth lowered it down
Remade
from the
him,
ship. Yeah.
Big mistake.
She lowered it down from the ship.
Yeah, at the end of Prometheus, she's like lowering it down. Like she takes it with her on the ship,
Yeah.
and then presumably with David's instructions, rebuilds him.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't remember that. I just figured there was future tech they did something with, some
Yes.
kind of 3D printer inside this fucking weird horseshoe.
The nerd burglar's going to tell us about it.
Will Langley's like, well, there's a comic. You know what I mean? You play the record backwards. Gives you the whole story.
It lines up with Wizard of Oz.
Anyways, this is, now we're inside the Giant's Temple or whatever, the Engineer's Temple, right? And it's just like, this is where he takes off his hood. He's got long hair. It's a long hair Fassbender, right? This is David.
I hate
Is it a wig?
Is it a wig? I don't know. We're wigging out with Scarpino.
Yeah, for sure it was a wig, and
Thank
it was
you.
hideous, and it's really off-putting. And then when he starts cutting it, that's the second time I'd be like, okay, strike number one, all the burnt corpses outside, like the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of burnt corpses outside. Strike number two, this dude now looks identical to the dude we
A
brought with,
problem, I got.
and it's problematic.
Why did you do that, David?
Why did you do it, David? Now someone could
I
someone
thought he was
could
cutting
argue.
himself a little mushroom cut, like that one lady in the last. As he cut it just straight across, I was like, that would have been an awesome
This is a
look.
sick ass bowl cut from the 80s.
I'm
dude.
honoring one of my fallen friends.
Yeah, this is weird.
That was it. Chris Anka in the chat says Shaw fixing David's a big part of the short. And like I don't know if he's fucking with us or not, but I love that.
Again, we got to throw this all out. You know what I mean?
Throw it all
I'm gonna
out.
watch the short later tonight.
If it's 4 minutes, if we wrap this up in a timely fashion, let's all watch
We'll
it.
watch it together out there.
Yeah.
Eat some popcorn.
It won't. The popcorn won't be done cooking by the time these shorts are over. Anyways, David then starts giving the exposition of what's going on here. Right, him and Elizabeth crashed here. When they crashed here, the weapon they had on board became unstable. It ran wild on the thing. Oh, we missed earlier when they were walking through the woods and they were like, "Listen, you hear that? No, nothing. No animals. No nothing." You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. The thing went wild. You know, buck wild. Some would say.
This is a science for Kev question. Kevin, get ready. I'm going to throw to you in 5 seconds.
Science with Kev. I'm Kevin.
Can a planet exist without wildlife, with just trees and plants? Can an ecosystem exist without any sort of biological, animal
But
or
plants
mammal?
are biological, right?
Well, yeah,
Like,
they had
and,
a
I mean,
way.
I think
They had some way
Manure.
of saying there was something she said where she was like, "There's nothing here that's like fauna or flora." No.
flora is plants, so
Then
fauna, yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, there's no fauna on this planet. Can a planet exist that way?"
I think so, right? I mean, like for a long time, it was just vegetation here.
Fair. All right, thanks, Kev.
They don't like. I guess you're thinking maybe different types of.
Well, what I think of, Andy-
of flora, how bees and
We
fucking
eat
yeah.
and we poop,
Yeah.
and the poop goes into the ground, and the trees use the poop to
Circle
make
of life.
fruit, and it's the circle of life. We breathe out, they breathe in.
planet's just full of apples.
Just falling. No one's picked these apples
Nobody eat them.
forever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, Kevin, my question is, if I could drill straight through the earth, one side to the other, right, ignoring the lava and everything else, then I jump in the hole. Would I be?
You'd make it all the way right to the tip of the hole. Like
Yeah?
if someone was there with like a stick, you might be able to grab it.
Okay,
You'd be going really fast though.
sure. And then what I would come all the way back, and I've been a little bit short every
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And then just eventually you're floating in the middle.
How long would it take me to fall through that hole?
How much you weigh right now?
Andy, what he was saying is like, do you think of like
240,
drilling like a
we'll say.
little hole?
Yeah. Yeah. If the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it?
Oh man. Anyway,
So according to the AI overview on the Google
course.
here, no world can exist solely with flora.
no.
Interesting.
Okay.
But ask it the Greg Hole question.
No.
He says all the stuff that we already talked about, and then they're like, "Well, can we fucking please? Is there a place for us to send up a radio signal?" He's like, "Oh yeah, go upstairs." Like you said, it's totally safe. It's totally this, whatever. They go up there. They beam up to the old Covenant. Danny McBride accepts the hail. We need evac. We need this. Okay, we're working on this, that, and the other. And then it's the, hey, can I talk to my wife, by the way? And can you get on a secure channel? And he's like, he knows this is fucked. So he just goes into a big room, you know what I mean? Where the other married couple watches them on a camera, which seems like an invasion private. They can't hear, but they watch. And then, of course,
She's taking
on.
a shit right now, actually. She can't go.
Oh, and they brought the ship down. We talked about this way, way, way long ago. You know what I mean? Where there was this on again, off again argument about are they going to get closer on the ship to get the signal. And yes, they brought it into way too close, 80 whatever clicks, I guess. And it was like, that was bad. That was stupid. That was bad. Anyways, she's dead, and that kind of, fucks him up or whatever because his wife's dead now. And this is going to keep happening where everybody's dead. Then we started to have a lot of conversations. A lot of people are talking
sure
here.
do.
Oh, David talks to Walter. He learns how to play the recorder.
Oh my god, dude! This whole hit it.
Oh, fuck.
Strike 2. Strike 3. You're out.
Why is it on Quef base? I didn't say it's
It
a
has
Quef.
to be, dude.
I didn't say it's a Quef
Remember
base.
when Greg monkey pawed the shit out of that thing last week?
Did you think I was going to fuck that up? I thought
I
was.
did, but you got there and it was real cool. This fucking scene though, like him teaching him how to play the flute, just
Excellent,
like gently.
fantastic.
You blow while I finger. He was like, oh my god, guys, get a room.
It's a weird ass scene, and I think is this the one that ends with him making out with himself?
No, that's later.
That's later.
They saved
I
the
like
good stuff.
I like what they're talking about here. I think this is the most fast. This is the best scene in the movie for me because they start talking about like he's like I'm an updated unit of like a version of you because you were were off-putting to people because you could create. You had these ideas. You were too curious, and that scared humans. And he's like, but don't you feel sad that you can't create? Like you're just this sad like clone of me, and I get to be out there and be God.
It's awesome.
Cool stuff.
It's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
It would have been great in an awesome movie.
But did no one bother to just go one room over and see Noomi Rapace fucking splayed open, like Silence of the Lambs?
He's got drawings. He's been doing some fucking. He's trying to open a night. He's the goddamn guy from Animal Crossing. He's that fucking owl. You know what I mean? He's got. Shit.
Yeah.
Eventually, the one other woman who's there is like, "Listen, I need to wash up, Captain." And he's like, "Yeah, go do that. I'm sure there's water somewhere." And she just walks over to like a bird bath. And
This is where I'm gonna take a bath. Like, what are we doing here?
She's rubbing her arms and shit. She's rubbing her arms in this water, and then when you know it, what's up there? Xenomorph. The Xenomorph comes down, bites her in the neck, right? Bites her right. Oh, I guess I skipped. We have a Xenomorph already. So I skipped. I guess Billy Crudup getting it. No.
This is the skin one. This is the
skin
pale
one.
one.
Yeah, it's the baby that survived. Yeah, sorry.
But it's not a baby anymore. It's big now. It's tall.
This is big. This is one big.
Its mouth appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, bites her head off. Her head floats in the bird bath now. Her body's on the floor. David comes in and starts talking to it like, "Oh, it's okay, little guy. You're on my side, right? We're all friends." Yeah, blows in his face. The me and Nick thing. Stolen right from ours. This is when Billy Crudup, who may or may not have been an ET, walks up and is like, "Move out of the way." He's like, "Don't fucking do anything. If you breathe on them, they do stuff. I can control them." He's like,
breathe,
"Fuck you,
breathe
kid."
on the horses. I love you.
The reaction from Fassbender here is unlike anything I've ever seen him react. Like he emotes here in such a way I don't think he's ever done in his whole life. It was crazy.
Killed it.
Yeah.
From here, Fassbender's like, "Well, now you gotta fucking die, Captain. Come with me. I got some shit to show you." And so he starts walking him around. Again, the same Hall of Horrors, but now it's a little bit different. And we see stuff we see. We're like, "Oh man, that's a face hugger back there in the drawing," and yada yada yada. And he's like, "Come on downstairs. Come on downstairs to my dungeon."
Yeah, he literally perfect Fassbender moment here, right? Where Billy Crudup goes like, "I've seen the devil, David, and I see it in you," or whatever he says. He's like, "It's time. The jig is up. Like it's time to come clean." And Michael Fassbender goes, "Okay, come this way."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, all right, yeah, cool. Let's hang out. I'm just fucking sling my gun here. I trust you completely."
Crudup was
now."
like, "Shit, all right. I wasn't expecting you to."
You went easy. It's cool.
He goes down there. He's got a bunch of the alien eggs. He talks about how he's been, crossbreeding all this stuff to make stuff, but he's missing one vital ingredient. And since everything's dead on the fucking planet, it's all safe. It's perfectly safe. Go tap that egg. It opens up. The little.
How many times have we seen
the four
this
tongues, and then it's all milky, fucking moving around. They look like a weird oyster, and then bam, jumps out, gets him in the face.
Face hugger. Face hug him, 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 face hug him.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Face Hug 'em or Fuck 'em, where we decide if the face huggers in a given Alien or Predator movie were great and we want to hug them, or if they sucked and we say fuck them. So Face Hug 'em or Face Fuck 'em, Alien Covenant. There's a few more. There's this scene. And then there's another one that I liked. I liked him here. I'm face hugging him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going down for these. I think it's too much of a good thing, and I just feel like they didn't know what direction to take him in this one. And the moment we see the egg and the setup, it's like we know as an audience what's going to happen. And I'm looking at this character, and I'm like, you can't fucking trust this guy that you just called the devil telling you that this thing's okay. It's so
Yeah, but again, I hear you. I would definitely, I would face fuck Billy Crudup possibly from E.T. in this one. Sure. I'm saying face hug the face hugger.
But what the face hugger does, we've seen it 10 other times,
Right,
literally 10 other
old.
times.
Never
better,
gets old.
more
The
interesting.
counter argument though, which end is it going to come out?
That's a good question. This thing's bursting
Because
out
it's
of
so
everything.
exciting. It's bursting out of the mouth, out of the back, out of your chest, out of your tooth hole. Like we don't know.
This
That
is
wasn't
a
additive to
classic
me,
though.
though.
This is classic Coke. You're talking about new Coke. You're talking about Coke
There's
Zero.
too many Cokes in this, though.
I'll tell you
have
what-
to count all of them.
But
I'll
the
tell you what I
facehugger's
like
also
though.
going your ear now.
One of the face huggers
Ear fuck 'em.
hides behind, like runs away from the shooting.
Yeah, he gets it.
Hides like against the wall, and then the person like it just felt like a Call of Duty like like when you're fighting somebody inside of a room. You know what I mean? And the person just like and it jumps at him. It was like wow, that was a smart
cool.
face hugger. Smart guy.
Face hug 'em.
I say face hug him.
Andy?
I say face hug him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to hell.
I will say, Andy, that's a perfect illustration of one of my other big qualms with this movie. Is that what was the name of that character that got killed and then the xenomorph popped out of his chest? You don't know.
Fuck if
Nobody
I know.
knows.
Yeah,
There's
no, I don't
30
hate
why are there
people.
30 fucking characters? This is like the third act of the movie, and we still have characters on screen that I couldn't point out of a lineup as to whether or not they were in this movie. Why do you not whittle your goddamn characters down to like 3, like we had at the beginning or the middle of Alien? We have like 5 characters fucking here. Those are the guys we know: Hicks, Hudson, Vasquez, Bishop. Ripley.
We immediately have the
Done.
face hugger. We
Gorman.
Captain wakes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And he's like, "No," and he immediately pops out of his chest. Right? This thing's moving fast. New Coke.
I need
Quote,
Top
unquote.
Gun call signs. You know what I mean? I need them to be, sunburned out there. I did like that moment though with Crudup when he looks up and he's like, Walter, he's like, fuck no, I'm David, bitch.
Yeah. Eventually, though, everybody's looking for everybody now. The other guys get infected. We're talking about blah, blah, blah. Then we get Walter and David talking, right, where Walter calls out David saying, you didn't fucking... This wasn't an accident, the pathogen. You did this. He's like, yeah, and we get the cool flashback of all the stupid fucking gods. Like, oh no. And they're...
I thought that shit was cool. Like, it was a cool revelation because
I liked it,
I
but
didn't expect it to happen. We know David's an evil, like, weird asshole that just wants to experiment with life, but I didn't expect that shot of him in that, in the ship, kind of looking at all this hell that he's just letting out. It was like, whoa, this is really messed up. You're a mean guy, dude. Like, you're really
he is
fucked
the devil.
up. Yeah.
Don't you forget it.
Then he stabs David stabs Walter in the neck, and he does a really cool, like, fold him up, like, fall down for a robot. I was like, that's nice.
His face he makes
Yeah.
the weirdest face.
Yeah, but then he starts healing. Like, oh shit, he can heal. There's been some improvements. I'll say later.
Yeah,
the
he
most-
bends together like
That's so
like the
off-putting.
Naboo robots.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so
the battle
droids.
droids
It's
round
so
and round
fucked
her.
up.
Then that
was after the kiss.
We've whittled it down to the widow, right, or almost, and now Walter wants to make her the new Shaw and do all that. But then guess what? David wants to do that. Walter shows up. They battle. They run out. They've got the guy who we already mentioned, the other guy with the face hugger, but he gets face hugged here or whatever, right?
Presumably, that's where the second xenomorph comes from, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't really see that one get born, but it ends up on the ship later.
Yes.
Because there's
Yes,
2
that all
actual
tracks.
alien xenomorphs in this. One is the one that gets crushed
Yeah.
by the crane later, and the other one that just happens to somehow have gotten on the ship.
Tennessee
always has to
swings
happen.
down. Oh yeah, that was what they cut the face hugger thing and it burned a Weeds guy's face. Remember?
Oh,
They put the
man.
patch on his face or whatever. That was
Violent
cool.
acid.
Poor dude. He almost made it. Like, he survived a face hugger. He survived acid on his cheek, and then quickly bit the dust after that. I was wondering,
Did
what are the filmmakers trying
No,
to?
he gets put into
He gets put in the
tube.
cryo chambers. Remember they put the goo on his face one by one? I was like, there's got to be a better way to just squirt it.
No, he got fucking killed at the end, didn't he?
I don't think. Oh, does he get killed at the end? I don't think so.
I thought he got put into his tube, but I forget.
I thought she was like spreading the shit on his face.
Yeah.
Does he die at the
help
end?
him?
I'm pretty sure he died after he had the goop, the helping goop that she was putting on his face.
No.
Maybe I'm
Doesn't really
tripping out.
matter.
Maybe
It
I saw
doesn't
it
really do
differently.
much
It
after
doesn't
this.
matter.
I saw
all,
the
yeah.
director's alpha cut.
Well, I think this was just like a little homage to like Hicks getting like having his face burned, same side. I don't know.
I was wondering what the second xenomorph came from him.
He
Oh
was
yeah,
in the incubator. Ah.
yeah. It burst out of his bitch ass.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe I missed that part.
He died.
God rest your soul, Weeds guy. Roger, God rest his soul.
But there's that moment where David's like, or Walter, we don't know at
Chris
this point.
Anka writes
rubbing
in and
his
says
cheek.
the alien came out of the Weeds guy when they leave him in the med bay after getting the goo on his face.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
There
Sorry,
you go,
I missed that. I
everybody.
must
It's
have gone
fine.
to the bathroom at that point.
And remember, this is also, I'm jumping then. So we had Tennessee come in, Danny McBride, get them. They get out. Xenomorphs on the ship. We have the one GIF, if you use the GIFs. And then they had a big claw swinging up there. And then the widow had to run around. She was tethered and she was doing shit.
This
and
is
then-
such a bad video game level.
It's a
Like,
bad
the
video game
crane
level.
swinging around. Her fucking when she gets knocked off and she's on the rope like swinging. Like, what are we doing here?
Dude, the whole setup for this is kind of dumb, right? Because he's like, we don't have a lander anymore because we have one lander on this massive ship. What are we gonna do? We're gonna take this like terraforming ship that's kind of just you can't really like pilot it, and we're gonna take it down there. And then the entire time he's like, oh, this is really hard to pilot. And then it cuts out, and you're like,
An
is there a
arm.
storm happening right now? No, man, it's just like it's hard to pilot this thing.
Swinging around. Like,
I-
that
like
ship
what
is
the
going
fuck?
crazy.
Just steady the ship so I can get a shot at this guy.
Make up a cargo driver.
Yeah, what the
Seager
fuck
in
is
the
happening?
Twitch chat asked the most important
Park it.
question that I wanted to ask a little while ago, but I didn't. But now I have to because I see the question. It's like I have to ask now. Seeger asks, wait, does Nick not pause the movie when he's home and has to pee?
No, because my wife watches it with me. And I have a bathroom that I can kind of see I was like, so I just leave it open. I'm like, can kind of see it.
Because I just imagine you being like, let me know what happens.
Well, honestly, by the time I normally I would pause it, especially for an in review movie, but by the time we get up to the ship, I legitimately forgot that there was a xenomorph that was still left, and I was like, "Oh, we're almost done. We're gonna get to the scene where he tucks somebody, David, and then it's it." But no, there's a whole other like 10 more minutes left of this, and
really
I was so
worthless.
fucking bored.
Really worthless,
Just
right?
boring.
Where guess what? They're all just chilling on the ship, and then wow, alien life form detected or whatever. Like, oh fuck,
Oh,
and they
don't.
can just track the fucking thing.
Yeah,
and there's
don't worry
locking
about the alarm
doors.
though, because Jesse Smollett and his wife are still gonna bang in the fucking thing. You can't hear and fucking the alarm in the fucking shower.
Not
Real
when,
talk.
not when you're that horny.
This reminds me of like some of the shit I hate most about all the movies, just one after the other, where it's like, all right, cool, the alien's back again. We've seen that so many freaking times. We have to run from room to room as the gates close behind us. We've seen that now. This is the third time in these movies we've seen it. And it's just so mind
But I
numbing.
haven't seen
not
shower sex
interesting,
though,
dude.
so give them some fucking.
You're
credit.
right, I guess.
That tail was trying to tickle that cooter a little
It
bit.
was,
Yeah, he was
dude.
trying to be
That-
like
I
a
didn't like
thruple,
that. I didn't
like
a
that.
little cuck in the corner. I like that they're like,
Fucks
we've
don't
got him.
participate.
That's why he's in the corner.
Because he throated Smollett. Like, he did the...
I mean, I guess
He had his tail coming up. He was trying to get in a hole.
Well, he tried to touch, and there's no, get back in your chair. Get back in the cuck chair.
Get out of there.
I like that they're like, okay, we got him trapped in this little corridor. What do we do? All right, let's not think about this for a second. Here's what we should do. We should let him into this big cargo bag. You know what I mean? This massive cargo bag.
It's real big.
And then
A lot of
what I'll
space to roam.
do is I'll trap him. I'll trap him in the cockpit of this big truck, and he'll surely won't be able to get out of the glass. We haven't seen him headbutt glass at all.
Hasn't gone through any glass in
At
this
all.
movie at all. Yeah.
We won't try to shoot it when it comes out. We'll just let it escape. We'll be fine. This is a great plan.
One thing I liked when they are kind of doing that crazy outdoor sequence. You know, you ever seen videos of like a little puppy or a cat, and like somebody has a big puppet that they're like, and they think it's an animal, whatever. There's that moment where the xenomorph sees the big claw. And it's like attacks it, like it thinks it's like an animal or something.
But
I
it's
thought it
so
was really
dumb
cute.
because she's like, give me control of the claw. The claw goes like this.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
The alien's all mad at it.
Suddenly it's
yeah.
like, I've never seen this thing before, so I can't move left or right. I just have to stay in my tracks.
Petrified of his
So
hand. He's never seen a
stupid.
hand bigger than him. They ejected out of the bay, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
We got the thing.
Stab
right.
Where does she jump? She just jumps down a little stool.
Yeah, like, no, it's just like the edge, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be hanging off. In
That was
zero
cool
G.
though. It's pretty cool. It's a good move.
Yeah, should I help a lady up?
Now it's time to go to bed. David, well, Walter, thinking he's David, helps everybody sleep. And then, at the last second, when the widow's going to sleep, she's like, and will you help me? Walter, will you help me make the log cabin when I get there?
And he's
And
like,
David's
"What?"
just like, for what, just not, I mean, I guess he wanted to reveal himself here.
Of course.
But he's just like, I'm not going to say anything, and I'm also going to look a little perplexed. She's like, David? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you
Now,
bastard.
let me ask you guys this other question. Okay, you've just encountered David, who looks like. Okay, let's put it this way. We'll
Were
put
you
it-
raising
we'll-
your hand there, by the way?
Yeah, I was just.
Can he be
I'm
polite?
trying to be polite, Andy.
I can ask a question. Why was your hand like that?
Let's bring it into real world scenario.
Real world
right?
scenario, everybody.
We've been friends with Tim for a real long time. Okay, but then suddenly we go to the Saramonte Mall
Set him on.
and we see Evil Tim.
Yeah.
And Evil Tim has been torturing Andy and like splaying him open and probably doing all sorts of weird sex stuff to him. Let's be
Totally.
perfectly
Big
fucking
time, big
honest,
time.
right? Evil Tim's gone off the fucking rails. And we go through this whole crazy adventure with Evil Tim where we're like, we're pretty sure we think Good Tim killed Evil Tim. Do you let Good Tim tuck you in at night, or do you wait until Good Tim turns his back to you and you fucking canoe the back of his head?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way I'm letting an android put me to sleep after this whole thing. No way.
I just also feel like I understand I'm into tech to a degree. Not like Tim's into tech, but I'm into tech, right? So like I feel like at some point on our journey or in our training, whatever it may be, if I knew if
Code words.
Kevin's an android and he's
Code
been
words.
working with me for as long as they've been working together, I feel like it would have come up in Kevin's user manual that he can't be harmed and he can self-heal. So that when the evil Kevin shows up and he's got stitches in his face that I helped put in, I'd be like, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. By the way, I remember your model could self-heal. Why am I helping you heal right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Don't get me wrong, I don't know everything about
Shows
every
the
fucking
captain.
camera we use, but if we had a camera that could self-heal, I'd be like, fuck, Nick would tell me about that over lunch.
Yeah,
Like,
we
oh,
would have
shit,
known.
fuck, yeah.
We would have done some research, but we've already established that this is the dumbest fucking crew on the planet who does
Yeah.
zero research anytime they do anything.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. I mean, when
They
James
just didn't.
Franco's your captain, right?
Hey man, I'm just out there.
Let's go to space.
I'm a vibes captain. I'm just
Jenny
feeling my
Ortega
vibes.
planet out there. It'll be great.
It's great, man.
You know what I mean?
Jenny Ortega planet.
So she goes to sleep, and then David goes in there and barfs up a bunch of embryos. No, it's
hated
like two.
watching this.
I love
Two
it.
face hugger embryos.
Actually, it was very well done and very cool and stuff. But like, goddamn, it's just like it made me. I'm even right now. I'm feeling a little gaggy.
Yeah, it
thinking
was like
about
when you see an anaconda spit up an animal because it can't fully digest it and it gives up.
And he puts them right next to the other little embryos because he's
Oh,
going to
man,
save
so
those for
funny.
When he
later.
does the first one, you're like, oh god. Then he goes, I'm like, oh, not another one, not another one, no, not another
How
one.
many does he got?
How many you saw it?
And then he says, "Yeah, play the song or whatever." and
Yeah,
walks off.
he says play Wagner's
Mother.
Entry of the Gods into
Mother.
Valhalla. But I love, by the way, that Michael Fassbender speaks fluent German. I don't know if you guys ever. That's just a real trait that he has. So when he speaks German in as Magneto, and he speaks it here, he speaks Das Reinhold. Like he has that real,
He has a really good accent.
actual, authentic accent, which is so fucking
Better than
cool.
American accent.
Dormammu.
And that is the one, the only Alien Covenant. Alien vs Predator preferred partner. Alien vs Predator preferred partner. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our latest and greatest podcast within a podcast, Alien vs Predator preferred partner, where we give out the award for our preferred partner in each of the Alien vs Predator movies. So far, the list looks like this. Alien had Jonesy, Aliens had Newt, Predator had Mac, Predator 2 had Danny Boy, Alien 3 had Charles S. Dutton, Alien Resurrection had Winona Ryder, AVP had Alexa, AVP Requiem had 90% Jesse, 10% Mutzi. Predators had the Yakuza, and Prometheus had David, who was our preferred partner for Alien Covenant.
God, Predators was fucking.
It's gotta be Walter, right? Walter's a cool guy.
I would just put Fassbender. Either
Yeah,
one.
I'd rather
David,
just put
Walter,
Fassbender.
you're both making good
Because
points.
you know what? You bring either to a party, it's gonna be something.
The
It's gonna
blood
be fun.
splatter.
Yeah. Oh, the blood splatter.
It really, like, without that blood splatter.
I mean, does but is that part of the Ragu Baku? Is that a bad guy?
Shit,
You know what I mean?
I mean, think of that. If it wasn't for that blood splatter, you have to think about it this way, right? How big was that tiny little hole in the door, that window in the door, right?
Yeah.
So if she
Yeah.
had just not gone back in that room, that xenomorph would have been stuck in there forever, probably.
Yeah.
I think about that sometimes. It haunts me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Congratulations to Fassbender for
Yeah.
becoming our AVP.
Deserves it.
Das Reinhold. Ragu. Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Red Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast that started it all, where we rank all of the bad guys in the Alien vs. Predator cinematic universe. So far, the ranked list looks like this. At number 1, we had the bad Predators and Perry White from BVS and Predators. Number 2, Aliens, Burke and the Queen from Aliens. The Predator from Predator at number 3. Number 4 was the Xenomorph Facehugger Ash combination from Alien. Number 5 was the Aliens, Facehugger, and the Big Bad Queen from Alien vs. Predator. Number 6 was David and the Big White Guys from Prometheus. Number 7 was Predator, King Willie and Gary Busey from Predator 2. Number 8 was The Baby, the Queen and the Military from Alien Resurrection. Number 9 was 20th Century Fox and the Alien from Alien 3. And number 10 was the Pred Alien and his minions in Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
God, that movie sucked.
Where do we want to rank David and the blood
The blood spot.
I go under Predator too.
I'll put it there, sure.
They didn't bring me joy in this. I like David a lot more in Prometheus.
I just wish I wish the movie was more of the David Walter. I wish it was them in the complex trying to figure out whether or not David was a good person and just exploring that and trying to get in. Yeah, I don't know. It just they just don't do too much with
So
it.
you want it below Predator, King Willie, and Gary Busey?
Yeah,
Shout
because
out to
King Willie's
Willie,
cool,
dude,
man.
Yeah.
King Willie was the coolest.
Voodoo magic, fucking voodoo
Yeah,
magic, man.
that sounds about right.
Remember?
I do remember.
forgot.
I remember, Nicky. I
Did they-
remember. You remember that?
Do you have any other podcasts, or is it just time to rank?
Just time to rank.
Is it? Oh, it's
Rank
not Catch a
Rank
Predator, right?
everybody.
No, there's
Oh,
no predator got caught.
predators.
No predator
You're
got
right.
caught in
Yeah.
this.
You are correct.
Different show.
Let's start with Andy Cortez, who put Alien Covenant at number 7, underneath AVP, but above Predator 2.
That's where it goes.
Explain your work.
I mean, Predator 2, while silly to watch, there's still, I guess I just look at the potential of what this movie could have been. It bums me out a lot. But it still exists, and maybe they'll one day want to remake it.
Again.
Yeah.
Nicholas had it at number 8 underneath AVP 1, but above Alien Resurrection.
Yes. And my choice behind that was that I kind of always look at the one that I score right below. And I think to myself, would I rather watch Alien versus Predator again or this movie? And hands fucking down, I'd rather watch AVP. It's just, at the end of the day, it's dumb and it's not good, but it's fun and it's entertaining. And this movie, up until this point, and even Resurrection, up until this point, I've never been bored by an Alien movie. But we get to the end of this, and I literally went to go to the restroom because I thought it was over. And I was like, oh shit, we have 10 more minutes in the cargo bay with this thing. I really want this to end. And that's just kind of unforgivable.
Greg has it highest at number 5 under Aliens, but above AVP Requiem.
Yeah. Again, I enjoyed Requiem and even AVP for what they were trying to do or whatever, and we get into all these weird movies. But I feel like some of the positive thoughts you had about Prometheus in some regards I had here. I was like, oh, this is interesting to a degree. Like, I like the Android versus Android. I like us being on this world. I wish we would have done more with that, of being on this alien world, and these are the people who created it and flipped out. And you know what? I feel like if you're one of those guys, and you took Prometheus and this, and you're like, I'm going to edit these, you're Topher Grace, I'm going to edit these into one movie, I think that would help a lot in terms of making this like, oh, the things you like from Prometheus, the things I like
fucking work because the planets look identical.
Right? Yeah.
Finding a better edit, yeah.
Yeah, that would be it. But yeah, I wasn't offended by this. I also wasn't bored by it. I thought Fassbender's performance carried it. Plenty of goofy, stupid ones. The crew's a bunch of fucking morons, yada, yada, yada. They're all married.
The creepiness of the alien definitely put it up there to me, too. The 2 little flesh babies.
Just like Nick, I had this at number 8, underneath Predator 2, but above Alien Resurrection. And it's a hard one for me. I was saying this earlier, but like, I do think that this is so boring, and that is like the biggest sin a movie can commit for my entertainment. But Alien Resurrection, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, and Alien 3, like, I think that they're a level of bad that I can't put those above Covenant. Like, there is a movie here. I just don't enjoy the movie. So based on my rankings, we are at the tiers that Greg are talking about. It's just like, it really just doesn't matter. I don't recommend anybody watch any of the movies I just named there, like, at all. And like, real talk,
Never, yeah.
I would, like Nick said, he'd rather watch AVP over this. Me too. Any day of the week, twice. I'd rather watch it twice than watch this again. And I could say that about every single MCU movie. I would rather watch twice than have to see this.
Yep.
Maybe even 3 times for most of them. But yeah, didn't enjoy this film. Definitely dreading the rest of this franchise. I pray that it gets better.
Pray.
Hey.
Hooray.
I'm really looking forward
No
to
future
that.
spoilers.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the rest of them, so we'll
Kevin
see.
has
Well,
the
I meant
big-
more
Kevin
for
has the big
reassuring
ranking.
you or telling
Yeah.
you the world's
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah. Now, our overall rankings are as follows. Number 1, Aliens. Number 2, Predator. Kev, if you could bring it up, that'd be cool.
Yeah, sorry, it's not working. Give me 1 sec. There it goes.
Number 3, Predators. Number 4, Alien. Number 5, Prometheus. 6, AVP, Alien vs. Predator. 7, Alien Covenant. 8, Predator 2. 9, Alien Resurrection. 10, AVP, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And 11, Alien 3.
This is a list I can stand by.
I'm not too mad at it.
I can look at this list and take this one home to mom and dad, you know?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
What
do
Mom
good
and
here
Dad say?
sometimes.
Mom and Dad
I'd
would
be
say,
like, wow, you
welcome
made
to
a
our
good
family.
decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
good decision.
We accept you into our family.
Yeah.
It's a good list.
Good
But
list.
your mom would always be like, but you'll always be my son, and I'll be the number 1 woman in your life. And you're like, Mom, that's going to cause a rift way later on. Years later.
Yeah.
We have the Predator next week, everybody. Very interested to see what direction that goes. Is it a reboot? Is it a sequel? I don't fucking know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments what you think about Alien Covenant. And what do you think about Michael Fassbender kissing himself? You know? Blowing, fingering. He does it all in this one. Until next time. Bye.